Hello, I'm John Culshaw, one of the Impressionists, and I do President Bush, Tony Blair,
Because I'm an ordinary guy.
Liam Gallagher,
Photographers.
Robbie Williams,
I thought it was yours.
Bill Gates,
Great bazookas, huh?
David Beckham,
Proud.
a few more as well.
Wow! Did you see that little bloke?
My name's Jan Ravens, and I guess that basically I do all the girls, unless they're Mariella Frostrup, which John does because she's too deep for me. So yeah, I do all the royals.
Weedy?
Jerry Halliwell,
Oh!
Kylie Minogue. Anybody female, that's me.
I think I've got loads of weight to lose. Yeah, me too, Vic.
I got into impressions through taking off the teachers at school and doing impressions of my relatives, and then I used to be a DJ on independent radio up north, and I used to put silly voices in the show just to make it a bit more interesting, do the recipe in Bob Geldof's voice or something like that, but I kept getting fired because they didn't like that sort of thing in those days. And then did Spitting Image and Dead Ringers and now 2D TV.
There seems to be sort of like impressions is the new black, like everybody wants impressions. And, 2D TV is part of that burgeoning force. And, it's great fun. And there's something very satisfying about doing impressions. When you get one right, there's something really... it's a really great feeling.
So what? I've got a gun. And I'm going to kill you all.
Nice one, Doc.
The first ever impression I did was me Auntie Amy, who sounded very much like that. Oh, Jonathan, you're a rum lad. But my first sort of famous person that I did, probably Frank Bruno, I think. Probably I was watching him when he was boxing and when he was doing all that, so it was probably him. Or maybe Sir Patrick Moore. That was a very early one too, although not visible with the naked eye. Very interesting indeed. Talks very quickly, quite difficult to do sometimes.
I think my favourite is President Bush. And maybe that that laugh, which is a bit like Bert from Sesame Street. Professor Liebstrom.
So I think the way that, 2D TV brings, the President Bush caricature to life.
And so on. I think he's my favoritist. Professor Liebstrom!
I do like doing Jerry.
It's raining!
Hallelujah.
And she's just so, she's so pretentious and so into herself. And I think she is one of the few people that actually doesn't like, being on it. Because I think most people quite like it when they're on, the telly in whatever way. They like having impressions done of them. I mean, and lots of the people that I've done, or, a few of them, I've had feedback that, it's fun and it's a great laugh and all that kind of thing. But I think Jerry takes herself so seriously that she's not really quite so much into it.
OK, let's see. Lots of Elton's albums, lots of George's albums, lots of my albums.
It's your house. Thank God that's settled.
George Michael quite likes the way we do him, I think. He said, yeah, I love the, I don't think I'm that camp. Elton's just right, I don't think I'm that camp. And, a nice bit of, sprinkling of Kenneth Williams in there, which is, really nice.
The fridge is totally empty. So that means it's Jerry's. Or it's Elton's.
And Chris Eubank always gives you advice on getting his voice right. I think he's pleased that people do him so much. But he always does, no, don't speak quite so fast as you do. One is more measured. You will do it more distinctively if you are more measured. Are you seriously suggesting that I am the possessor of some sort of speech impediment? Lennox Lewis once went, oh yeah, cool.
When Giles first said, there's a Sian Lloyd, the ITV weather girl, and I'd never really been sort of aware of her, and then I just started doing this very sibilant, big-mouthed woman, and, suddenly there she was.
As I begin, you're trying to listen to what I'm going to say.
Actually, 2D TV is great for that, because the cartoons are so good that you don't feel as vulnerable as an impressionist, because you know that people are going to know who it is anyway. So there's a lot more sort of freedom, really, to fail initially. And although, obviously, you want to get it, because like I say, there's nothing more satisfying than getting it dead on, you do feel slightly protected by the cartoons being so good.
One last effort to listen. Too late, I finished. Good night.
A really easy voice to do, a really easy type of voice to do is something that's instantly recognisable and you can just get a hook onto what the characteristics are and what that character is.
Someone like Johnny Vegas. Very easy. You just do it and it's like there and you know it.
A trickier one would be something like Robbie Williams, where it's not quite so obvious what the hook to the sound is. Apart from a Stoke accent and maybe just the attitude. You know, I hate my life, live the dream, don't know what I want. But sometimes, you have to study for a longer period of time to get, that's what they do. That's what makes that character tick.
Oh, mwah, mwah. What a sensational party!
Yeah, whose party is it?
I thought it was yours.
No, it's not mine.
Well, it's not my party either. Oh.
Some characters can sound the same.
If you do Julian Clary, he's got that sort of camp sound like that, but if you take the campness out, it goes into John Major, which is quite famous. And then the next stage, make it a bit more aggressive. It sounds like Michael Caine. My name is John Major, and I used to be the Prime Minister. Or, Ian Hislop is, another one. If you sort of make it sound a little bit more, I don't know, a bit more cynical, it's John Peel along the way, isn't it, somehow? So, yeah, characters can be quite close together sometimes.
How long it takes to get it right really depends on how close it is to your own timbre. And there are some voices that you can carry on working on and you never feel you've got them. And there are some that just instantly sort of come to you, and there are some that reveal themselves to you. I mean, like I mentioned Anne Robinson, when she was doing Watchdog, I never used to be able to get her, but somehow when she started doing The Weakest Link, her character was revealed.
I am the weakest link. Goodbye.
Johnny Vegas, I just watched him and that were it. And it was just like that.
Others take longer. It can take... Frank Bruno was one of the first ones I did. And I think to get really, really, really sort of accurate with that one, it sort of evolved over many years. If I listen back to old tapes of, radio shows where I'd done Frank Bruno's voice or Chris Eubank's voice in, say, 1995 or something, I think, oh my God, don't like the sound of that at all. They always develop impressions, and the longer you do them, the better they get. And I don't like listening to, recordings from years ago, because you think, oh, I'll do it much better now.
Getting into character on, radio or television, or when you're sort of doing sort of voiceover stuff like this, it's in a way it's more similar than you might think, because even if you're just doing the voice of a character, you've inevitably got to use the physical characteristics of the because the way they hold themselves, the way, I mean, like if you're doing Anne Robinson, you instantly put your mouth in that sort of slightly twisted, and you sort of you instantly find yourself going into the character, and if you're if you're Kylie or someone, you're doing that huge Australian smile,
Just a minute. I need more blusher on my cheeks.
Do you need some on your face as well, love?
No one's looking at that.
As soon as you see the script and the type of language, you just instantly, go into it.
Tony Blair always, even though we are reading a script and, we are ultimately, working for animation, you always do his hand movements, the emphatic hand gesture, twitch the head to one side, beady eyes, slight vibration in the face. You still do all that sort of stuff. So you just read the script, see what's going on, and then clunk, you're in, and off you go.